This is a must-watch video, okay? If you've ever asked the question, when should I buy Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin gonna dump? Should I sell it and buy it back cheaper? Where's the price of Bitcoin gonna be in 3 months? If you ever asked any of those questions, guys, this is the video for you. I'm gonna be answering all of them. And just listen to this. How does this sound? 97% of all Bitcoin holders right now are in profit. 61% of all the Bitcoin supply has not even moved in over a year, which is an all-time high. We just had a Bitcoin halving, which cut how much Bitcoin comes out to 6.25 every 15 minutes. It cut it in half. Central bank is printing as much money as they possibly can. It's an overdrive. Global debt, okay, the global debt and GDP is the highest it's ever been in recorded history during peacetime. Guys, all the world is lining up. It's almost like the stars are aligning perfectly to pump our bags. This is a much watch video if you're in Bitcoin. Keep watching. What's going on, everybody? Alex back with another cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin video. We're going to be diving into all the recent events that's coming up. Of course, Bitcoin has been doing okay. It's been doing pretty well in comparison to, a couple months ago. It's been one of the best producing assets like we always talk about in this channel. Now I'm going to be diving into some details, and I have an exclusive chart, a data science model developed by my community, the Fundamental Secrets, exclusive from Alexander Lorenzo. You will not see this on any other YouTube channel or any other news outlet. It's only to this channel here. And if you guys want to use the chart, go ahead. No big deal. You can definitely share it. I'm not really too mad about that type of stuff. But other than that, guys, if you haven't already subscribed to the #1 cryptocurrency channel on the internet, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button as well as the push notification bell. This is time-sensitive information. I drop videos on specific points so we can capitalize on this bull run and potentially make you guys some money so you can show some love back by smashing that like button for sure so that other people can get this beautiful content. My name's Alex, by the way, if you haven't already seen my face floating in my thumbnails. I'm an entrepreneur, and this channel we talk about money, money, money. And of course, none of this is financial advice. It just happens to be that some people sometimes want to follow, which I don't say. Do not follow. Do not follow. Do not follow. Do your own research, okay? And then you can follow a little bit if you want, if you understand what's going on. So let's jump into the video. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is, of course, I just read it in the intro. This Dan Held guy, he's basically just talking about, like, guys, like, it's literally lining up. Everything is lining up. It's official. Like, we're seeing some crazy fundamentals play out here, right? Mexico GDP down negative 17.1%. I mean, that's obvious. We're seeing GDPs around the whole entire world, Britain, United States economy. Everybody's kind of struggling right now. And it's no wonder, obviously, through, the hyperinflation of certain people's currency, like Lebanon. As you can see in Lebanon, we have a huge hyperinflation. The annual rate is over 112. Okay, over 112% as of July 2020. That is what you call hyperinflation. Okay, that's what you call their dollar, their currency, their fiat currency is not holding up so well. And the same thing with the whole entire world, right? That's what the same tune that we've been kind of singing is just playing out more and more. This is just more evidence. Now, another thing I just wanted to show you guys really quickly when it comes to the market, right? IPOs, initial public offerings, are basically at its all-time high recently. And this is a sign that there's no like fundamentals in the market. These guys are just investing into IPO hype. This could be an indicator because, as you can see specifically here, he reads, historically, when IPOs flood the market, what follows are big declines. Okay, we've seen that, like I said, in the dot-com bubble, et cetera, et cetera. So we're seeing that right now specifically set out. Now, as of me making this video, Jerome Powell is basically going to have an announcement. Now, my prediction for that, and it's not going to be highlighted in this video, but my prediction is obviously he's going to print more money. He's going to decrease interest rates potentially to zero. Basically the whole 9 yards when it comes to propping up the economy. That's most likely what he's going to talk about in this actual meeting. And so you guys can tune into that, of course, if you want to look out the specifics. I'll cover it potentially if it's interesting information, but everybody kind of already knows that this guy is just about to, prop up the economy a little bit more, whether it's for elections, whether it's for just short-term fulfillment. I don't know the case is, but a lot of these politicians, what they do is, they'll do things for the short term so that they look good, and they'll kind of push the load off on the next person, that's running, for example, presidency or whatever the case may be, right? Now, one of the really big things that I've been recently looking at, is specifically Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway. So basically, he's, for the first time in history, starting to get into, he's betting against the economy. He's starting to get into gold, right? Buffett explains that when the government can just keep printing money to pay off their own debt, is laughable. This is from the man himself, the person that doesn't believe in Bitcoin. He believes in the properties of Bitcoin, but he might not believe in that technology himself. So he's jumping into gold, right? It's laughable, right? And to think that they will never default. He says that the trick for countries is to keep borrowing their own currency, right? That's exactly what they do. They're just borrowing their own currency to prop up, what's they want, really. They're kind of just picking and choosing the winners with corporate bailouts and everything, et cetera, et cetera. And here's a quote from blog Zero Hedge. They're basically saying that he appears to be quietly betting against the United States because the famously anti-gold investor has abandoned his banks and the backbone of America's credit-driven economy in favor of a gold miner. So he's starting to jump into it, right? Inflation is a hidden tax on your money. We all talk about inflation. I'm sure a lot of you understand what inflation is, and this is happening in real time, especially with Jerome Powell's new announcement that's coming out. Yes, banks have insurance in the case of such event. So what they're basically talking about here with negative interest rates, not only does it cost more to store your money, but if we go bankrupt and there's something that's catastrophically happens, the chance of you being able to pull out your money are 0 to none. They have insurance, but in the case of an event, the problem is too big. You're not going to be able to pull out your money. So that might be something you want to take in consideration if you have a lot of money in the bank. I have already. I have cash as well as, I have cryptocurrency stablecoins. And of course, a vast majority of my portfolio is invested into Bitcoin and different altcoins, right? Like we always talk about on this channel. So this is really important here. I just wanted to point this one thing out for this article really quickly. While billionaires like Warren Buffett are exiting stocks and running to safety, everyday people seem to believe that they are smarter than the pros or high frequency non-human trading bots. So I've seen it a lot. Maybe you've seen it yourself. How many of your friends are now into Forex or now into calling options or some stock trading thing, right? They're all into it. They're all posting on their stories. They're getting into finance because there's really nothing else to do. You got to make money somehow, right? So the easiest way to do that is from the comfort of your own home. And people think that they're smarter than the big billionaires, right? And these billionaires are making moves out of the traditional financial system. We see it all over with the precious metals being at its all-time high and doing very well right now, as well as obviously a whole bunch of other moves. Hedge funds. We've seen it all over. I'm not going to cover specifics because I have other videos for that and you can go watch them yourself on the channel. But I just want to make it very clear to you guys that don't be dumb money, right? Don't ask those questions. Should I buy Bitcoin now? Because a 5%, 10% decrease is almost nothing in the grand scheme of things. And I'm going to highlight that in this video here. So just some more here, right? Berkshire Hathaway switches bets on banks, right? He's jumping into gold. He's realizing that he wants to preserve his wealth. They have no choice, right? I want you guys to understand that. And the whole entire narrative I always talk about is, look, they're jumping into precious metals, but how are you going to move those precious metals out of various countries, right? How much precious metals are you possibly going to get? Or are you going to diversify into other hard money assets like Bitcoin, right? That's what we talk about on this channel, right? It's happening in real time. I want you guys to understand the macro perspective. I don't want to get people asking me the same questions over and over again. It's not that it annoys me. It's just that it's a rookie question. It's a rookie question. Should I buy Bitcoin now? Is this a cheap price to buy Bitcoin? And it goes down 5%. Is Bitcoin going to dump by 20, 30%? We never make bets on the tops, right? When it comes to Bitcoin, never make bets on the tops. You're betting against a parabolic upswing. So the chances of you being right against a parabolic upswing are very low. And let me show you what I'm talking about. As you can see here, Bitcoin profitable day since it started. You can see that 97% of the time, Bitcoin has been profitable on the upside than the downside. So the only time you would have really made a significant amount of money in Bitcoin in this parabolic new market would have been at the top in 2017, as well as recently in these couple of drops. So historically, you would have, if you're trying to bet on a downtrend of the market, I mean, you're going to be wrong 97% of the time is basically what this is trying to say. Obviously, that's not accurate numbers, but don't bet on the downturn. I'm going to show you strategies. Obviously, the dollar cost average strategy. You have the dynamic dollar cost average strategy, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to show you something really important too. The thing is that what people don't understand is that they actually changed the metrics on how to calculate inflation. So as you can see here, it's very simple. The inflation of Bitcoin is about 1.85%. Don't quote me on that. It's around that range. And the government always sets to have a 2% inflation per year. Now, they say that they've been around 2 to 4%. As you can see here, we're like hovering around 5% right now. But the thing is, since 1980, they actually had different measurements of actual inflation. So if we take the measurements from 1980, you can see that we're actually in the upwards of 10%. So if you have money in the bank, if you're holding cash, you essentially lost 10%. Now, how banks work is, I mean, they're supposed to give you what, 1%, 2% a year just for holding it in there. They're dropping that down to 0.25%. So not only did you lose 10%, there's a possible chance that this can go to negative interest rates, meaning you're losing money by just storing your money and you're losing money to inflation. So essentially, if you had $100, that $100 is now worth basically $90. So keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind that it's almost like I've said it in a lot of my videos. The risk is the new safe, right? You have to play risky. And we see this with Berkshire Hathaway. We see this with billionaires. They're playing a little bit more risky to preserve their wealth. And I want you guys to understand that a 5-10% decline is absolutely nothing. Now, let me bring this all the way back to something called McAfee's Law of Network Effects. Okay, I'm going to jump to the conclusion. This is a paper that you guys can read for yourself. Here, let me give you the title so that you can kind of research it for yourself. You can read it. It's very important because it explains network effects and everything. It's called Bitcoin Spreads Like a Virus. That's exactly what's happening right now. Bitcoin is spreading like a virus. And it's very similar to a lot of the companies we've seen like Facebook, Amazon, et cetera, as well as, of course, a virus, right? So he breaks it down in very, very great detail, in my opinion, when it comes to internet adopters, as well as the price of Bitcoin, as well as active addresses. And I'm not going to highlight that because I have a chart that we specifically made predicting the price of Bitcoin using McAfee's Law of Network Effects. This is this exclusive we're talking about. We've had other people, of course, everybody knows of the Bitcoin halving cycles, the stock to flow ratio. That's the popular one. Some people have seen logarithmic regression of Bitcoin and total market capitalization of all cryptocurrencies. But nobody has ever offered a prediction based on McAfee's Law of Network Effects. So let me jump into it and let's make some predictions here. Again, this is a Fundamental Secrets Alexander Lorenzo exclusive brought to you by me and nobody else. I did not take this chart from everybody else. And this is the type of value you get with this channel as well as the digital course, of course. If you guys don't know how to research your own cryptocurrencies, you know what to do. Link in the description below, thefundamentalsecrets.com. Full coaching, face-to-face, 6 hours of live Q&A a week. So you get to literally talk to me and my DeFi trader face-to-face to solve your specific issues. If there's anybody offering a course with something other than that, that's a problem. Coaching is needed in cryptocurrency. If you're just going off the YouTube videos, man, good luck. Because some of the insight is sometimes within a minute, right? And coaching is very important to help people get through this very volatile and emotional market. So I want you guys to really understand that. But if we jump over here, you can see that we have a different predictions for the tops and the bottoms in the market. Now, this is lining up. We're using McAfee's Law of Network Effects to make the prediction of Bitcoin. And you can see the bottom in 2022, just at the bottom, we're seeing potentially below 20K. But if we reach the top, this is where the $100,000 Bitcoin's coming into play. So by the end of 2021, I think by the end of 2021, we should easily see $100,000 Bitcoin easily. Okay. So as you add up all these data science charts, right, you have, of course, like we talked about before, stock to flow ratio, we have, logarithmic regression. All these things are kind of lining up to the same place. Some are saying 100,000, some are saying 280,000. Whatever the case is, you guys know my strategy. I'm going to start my cash out process in the hundreds of thousands, and I start working my way up and dynamically cash out of Bitcoin. Now, I'm not cashing out all my Bitcoin because we don't know. This can go further than 100. It can go all the way up to 1 million. We don't know for sure. But the important part is to understand that around that range is the price you want to start taking profits. Now, bringing it back to this chart here, just to really explain it in more detail, we want to jump to the conclusion, right? This is going to answer your question. A key application of our finding is the ability to evaluate data in a marketplace news with an intent to separate meaningful information from misleading noise. So sometimes you're going to get a lot of people that are very convincing on the dump of Bitcoin, and they're just capitalizing on the virality of the video or the article. All they want to do is spread it to as many people as possible. Even I'm guilty of it. Some of my videos, most of them, guys, I'm a marketer, I'm a YouTuber. These videos are made to capitalize on as many people as I possibly can to watch the video. That's essentially what it is, right? That's why the course is important, because that's capitalized to teach you stuff. But other than that, what I want you to understand is that the misleading noise is always a bad indication of when to buy and sell. You should never buy and sell off of misleading noise. The short term is irrelevant. This has real value. The fact that people value Bitcoin at almost $12,000 now, what is like 11,500 or something like that. The fact that people are willing to pay for that means that this has real value. Noise is a dominant driver of the price and volatility in the short term, okay? Not the long term. So ultimately a 5%, 10% decline to me is just a buying opportunity. I never try to capitalize on the downturns. I only capitalize on the upswings. Why? Let's jump back over to here. Because the price of Bitcoin has always been profitable. So this is like a reality check video for everybody that's asking that question. Maybe Bitcoin dropped a little bit. Maybe you got scared because you lost some money. Guys, let's try to capitalize on the long-term effects of Bitcoin, okay? The long-term effects are the most important thing. So just to wrap up the video, guys, look, stop asking that question. You know how to dollar cost average. Dollar cost averaging simply means when the price of Bitcoin goes down, you start buying some more. It's so effective that you could even go to like casinos and dollar cost average on roulette and actually win money, and to the point where they won't even let you bet a certain amount to limit you from winning money so that you can't lose. All right, so the whole point of betting with dollar cost averaging is that as long as you have money sitting on the sidelines, you can keep betting until it goes up. So when it goes up, then you make all the money for all your losses and then some. This is an extremely effective strategy. Let's not deter from that. The quickest way to lose all your Bitcoin is to try to trade it, try to call the tops. That's like the worst thing you could do, clearly. And let's have our mindsets on the prize, right? Start accumulating more Bitcoin. Find new ways to make some more money. Solve that cash flow issue, because this is a one in a lifetime opportunity. In the next couple of months, it's really going to show us a life-changing event for human species as a value transfer, okay? This is a value transfer of wealth. We need this in society. It's the most fundamental thing, right? Why? Because if I'm a guy that's, a rocket scientist, how am I going to eat food if I can't trade with somebody that's a farmer, right? What am I going to trade? My knowledge for food? No, we trade money. Money is a medium of exchange. And the reason why it's so important is because it allows us to do specific things. It's probably one of the most important drivers of modern day economy, modern day success in general. Computer, the internet, all these inventions came from the fact that we have a monetary medium that is not diluted, and it's being diluted before your eyes. But that's it for this video, guys. If you like the quality of this content, hit like. If you don't, leave some constructive criticism, subscribe for more video updates. And like I always say, if you don't get with this technology, you will get left behind. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Catch you in the next one.